tells us that there's somebody else in there. That just puts the pressure on the officers to try to figure out what's going on, where there's just two people.
That's what it's looking like, Mike, as we kind of work away. It's kind of a maze of roads down here from up here as we go through, so it's just kind of keep an eye on it. Yeah, he's in the turn now for that transition to the westbound 210. Looks like from the 134 interchange here, picking up speed, kind of working his way along, and it's free cleared, running northwest west of the 134 here, so westbound 210, and climbing up as we let the second air unit coming in down to join. But luckily, like I said earlier, he's not really getting on the gas too hard, a little bit faster at freeway speeds, not making a lot of real quick lane changes or things of that sort that would cause him to lose control. But there he goes all the way over to the 4 to get around slower traffic, and the speed is picking up just a bit. And right there you saw the sheriff's air unit pass through. He's been relieved by the CHP helicopter, and now it's a total CHP pursuit, working our way up through Pasadena, coming around the corner here towards Lowell as we working our way along the freeway here. So here we go. So we'll see how he works his way. So this gets up into the hills up here in the La Cañada area through the Montrose, and if he gets off in there, that's a lot of real tight, windy roads up in here. But if he just stays on his 210, it's going to be free flying for him, because there's very little traffic out here he has to deal with. So right now we're continuing on here. Westbound 210 just went under, I believe that was that Lowell that he just went under right by the Pasadena heliport. So here we go now, just continuing, number 2 lane, and 3 CHP units behind him, which is the normal pursuit configuration for them. 2 units and a sergeant behind him calling the pursuit and keeping track of it. So right now that's what we're going to see, and they'll continue on until they get into the Newhall area, which will then be handed off to the Newhall office for CHP. And that's a normal progression that CHP will do. It's just handed off to the different office areas as we pass through them, because the officers in that area know their area and it also keeps units from being taken well outside of their normal jurisdiction, normal patrol area. And it's a well-coordinated effort. We'll see that happen here once we get up by the 118 area when we cross over to Newhall area. But right now, CHP is definitely on his tail, keeping him. Speeds are still a little in excess of the freeway speeds, and the 210 is known for its speeds out here. So the average speed that we find out here most time is about 80 miles an hour. So I could estimate his speed up to about 90 right now because he's catching traffic pretty quick as we come around the corner. The next interchange we come up to is going to be the 2 freeway, and if he takes that, it'll take us south down into Glendale. So we'll have to wait for that. But there's a lot of construction out here on the 210 freeway. Has been underway for quite a while, and I'm looking ahead, and I do see construction workers in the center divider. Now, I don't think it's really going to affect this pursuit much because they have it blocked off with those concrete barriers. So as we continue on here, he's just passing traffic, using the lanes he needs to use to get around traffic, but not really being crazy like we've seen him to where they start snapping those lane changes and then end up losing control all by themselves and spitting out. But now we're coming up to the 2 interchange here. He looks like he's holding the lane there. He's by the off ramp, so we're committed now for the westbound 210 from the 2, holding that right lane there, just kind of going by traffic as he needs and working his way westbound here. So this take us up into the Montrose La Cañada area, and then from there into Sunland, and then over the hill into the Lakeview Terrace area. So it's just going to be up to him to figure out when he wants to slow this thing down, stop. Like I said, this all started back in Whittier with a simple traffic violation, nothing more than that. So right now, there could be more going on in that car than we know, but right now it's just an unknown. They're going to stay with him as long as they can, trying to develop information on the vehicle, running the plate, checking the plate against driver's records, trying to figure out who the driver is, and if they can contact the registered owner, determine if this car is a fresh stolen or a car that's been stolen and not reported, as they call it a fresh stolen in the police jargon. But right now, behind the Verdugo Hills, as we work our way westbound up through the valley here and continuing westbound on the 210. Let me send it back to you for a second while I coordinate with Burbank Airport as we come into their airspace.
All right, this again started in Whittier on surface streets, a simple traffic violation. This driver compounding the problems for himself, running a red light. That was the initial violation, failure to yield, obviously, and onto the freeway, the 605, and he's got plenty of room to run now, heading westbound 210 toward Latuna Canyon. This would put him in the Glendale area, just west of Pasadena. Plenty of room to run, very little traffic at this time of night, and clearly the will to run as well, Casey.
And still trying to get more information about who's driving that vehicle, if he is even the owner of the car, and who might be inside that vehicle with him at this hour. And the only thing good about this is, like you said, Micah, that freeway does appear to be wide open right now.
Yeah, you like to see it on freeways, frankly, because you eliminate the cross traffic and the threat of pedestrian traffic, especially when it's dark outside, and you're seeing a freeway now that's sparsely populated, coming up on 11 o'clock on a Friday night, still running westbound 210. And it looked fairly clear to me that there was at least one passenger in this car. They got off the freeway briefly and Rose. And it looked for a brief moment as though there was a cell phone being operated in that passenger seat. Can't say for certain, but authorities have that to deal with as well. But again, as we say, when we watch these happen, the time is on the side of the officers. CHP taking control of this pursuit relatively quickly after it got on the freeway here off surface streets in Whittier. But time is on their side, and they've got units standing by, as Tim has been talking about, to take over so that you've got a fresh pursuit package. After 15 or 20 minutes of driving, you're going to have different officers sort of sweep in and take control of the pursuit. We understand CHP is in the air as well following this. And there was, for a time, Tim, just a surveillance type operation, the idea being that what, you keep the driver from driving too recklessly or erratically or too high a speed?
Well, that's the thought. And what happened was, as well as ground units were trying to stay with it from Whittier PD, he was doing everything he could to lose them, taking the shoulders, splitting traffic, going from lane to lane. And finally, their watch commander, once that LA County helicopter got on board, they told the ground units to back off, let the LA County helicopter handle the pursuit. And once he did that, the driving factor really slowed down, and that's what they hope for. But it's not normally the case on this, to where they'll just keep driving like crazy, even though the air unit's the only one over them. And but the ground units, what that does is it takes the ground units out of the mix, to where they're not having to put themselves in danger, and also the motoring public in danger, chasing this guy, hoping he slows down. But right now, once the LA sheriffs got onto it, got the CHP to come and help out, they come in, and now they're in a pursuit mode now of him. And you can see as his speed has picked up, but his driving isn't as quite as erratic as he was dealing with the Whittier PD. Probably the fact that there wasn't a big bright light shining on him, he thought he could get away before that air unit gets here. But right now, once the air unit's over you, you're done. So he's right now just running for no reason. And like we were talking about, you and Casey were saying, just trying to figure out who this guy is in his car. What's the real reason he's running? I mean, as a police officer myself, I've had many pursuits that started off with simple traffic violations, and it turns out the traffic violation was because he was trying to get away from a crime, and you end up figuring that out after it all comes to an end. Or your desk is working on it, the dispatcher's doing everything they can back in their office, working records, making calls to try to determine what went on. So right now, all we know is just traffic violations on this, but it could be just about anything. So you do your best to keep with him. The air unit takes a lot of pressure off the ground units to stay too close, and he is not driving that erratically. So it's working out pretty well all the way around here. Not a very dangerous pursuit, but still continuing, passing Sunland here, continuing west on the 210 freeway. The next freeway interchange we have is going to be the 118 freeway. Yeah, once we come through here. So yeah, we're just up to listening to some handoffs from Burbank Airport and also the CHP here as they go along trying to get the cross streets. But so right now it looks like a very static situation. I just heard CHP call for the Newhall units to be in position to take over the pursuit. So we might see that handoff here in another couple miles as we pass that 118 freeway. So he looks like he's content to hold this number 2 lane, just using the different lanes just to get around slower traffic. Very little traffic on the freeway as we can see right now. But as he continues on, it gets a little bit thinner. But once we get up towards the 5 freeway, which is a little further ahead here on the 210, it's going to be a little different because the freeway will start jamming up a bit as we go up through that Newhall Pass, and that's where we're going to run into more traffic. We see right here, just passing traffic, not much faster than the flow, and just content to keep going. So right now, it's just a wait and see for the officers on the ground to maintain their composure in the cars, to keep their emotions in check, stay behind him, keep an eye on him, and watch for any evidence coming out of that car. That's one of the things that you do watch for. And that watch commander, or the field commander that's behind them in the 3rd car, is watching the dynamics of this pursuit. And he's the one who will make the ultimate decision if this gets too crazy to go ahead and back off on the ground portion and let their air unit that's overhead continue on with it. But right now, well within reason, not really getting out of hand, and just holding this number 1 lane as we make the turn coming up on Osborne, working up into the north end of Pacoima. And right after we get out of this turn here, then the 118 is the next option area, moving over to the 3 lane, coming around the corner here, and see if he starts moving over to the right. That'll get the 118 interchange with split cars right there as we come along. So, and also what the officers have to watch for at this point, they're back a little bit. They're not going to lose him because of the air unit, but they got to wait for that big quick change to go over to the 118. But right now he is continuing west 210, so this will take us up right around through Sylmar and then on to the 5 freeway, and we'll see which way it goes from there. But very high rate of speed. It is continuing. It doesn't look like it's going that fast from here, but he is definitely up in the 90 mile an hour range. because the traffic here is faster as a normal course as you drive on the 210. I travel it quite a bit, and it's sometimes a race up here with these people driving.
And there goes the signal breakup. You are watching the KTLA 5 News at 11. Micah Ullman along with Casey Montoya following breaking news. A pursuit under...
Hold on, I'll find another website.
Freeway. This driver, and we believe at least one passenger in this SUV, initially running a red light on surface streets in Whittier. Whittier PD following closely for a short time and then backing off the pursuit. CHP then taking over northbound on the 605 to the westbound.
Wait.
And we are...
No.
on that and get a more exact location, Tim.
Yeah, we're already past the 118, working our way up towards Maclay here as we enter into the Sylmar area here. Just holding number 2 lane at least 90 miles an hour is what the last report we have, and just looking at the way he's passing the other cars. So CHP units are pretty well back. I mean, they're holding a lot further back than they normally would, just letting the area unit handle it. And Newhall, I'm watching for the Newhall units up here because this is about where they'll...
Okay, KTLA, come on. Bear with me. We're almost there.
I like your hair.
I like yours too. Can I have some?
It's not cool to ask that.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Online dating isn't always rewarding,
Trying to
but
skip it,
Hotels.com is
but it won't let
instant
me. There we go. And it's not on that. I don't know why.
Taking this thing over, but what the
Okay, we're back.
Here on this transition, going to get very turned. Going to do some turns. This is an older car. This is probably about a 15-year-old Tahoe. Don't know what kind of condition it is in, but at 100 miles an hour at any high speeds, a truck like that is going to be difficult to hold on to. Northbound 5 freeway, that's going to be the transition. We're going to be heading through the Newhall Pass. California Highway Patrol on the ground. Helicopter giving us the light. That's going to be the Sheriff's Department.
And again, I apologize if the quality isn't good. It's just that some of these news websites are better than others.
That vehicle moving well into the triple digits of speed. At one point, we were tracking it at 102 miles an hour. We heard the helicopter saying moving at 100 miles an hour. Right now, though, going uphill again. You can see it passing all these vehicles here on the 5 freeway as we get into the Newhall Pass. Sometimes in this area, people drive just a little bit faster than the freeway speed. I mean, you just admit it. But you can see those the reds and blues. They might be slowing down. We see brake lights on the other cars coming on Now he's starting to get over to the right a little bit. That's not because he wants to get over. We know there's road construction going on here as well. But I'm going to get a little bit of a wider shot just real quick to show you the number of California Highway Patrol that are behind it. We've probably got about 4 or 5 of them. And this is continuing on now as we're getting up into the Valencia area. But this chase just keeps going and going. This guy starting to change some lanes a little bit radically. If he's going to get off here shortly, because he's hogging the right side, well, now he's going back over the left. I was going to say it's Calgrove. But you can see what the California Highway Patrol has to deal with right there. When they're running their reds and blues, the people, the civilians on the roadway this evening, they're slowing down. They're moving over, as they should. But it might actually be blocking some of these officers as they're trying to get out of the way. Traffic is going to be slowing down that suspect. Hopefully he doesn't do anything too radical. You know, the construction, I think he's actually gone past that already. We saw those cones up there. You know, I know that they are doing work out here on the 5 northbound, but you can see him basically using all the lanes out here, cutting around those loops of traffic. California Highway Patrol, they've got the option. They're working both sides of this. But there's more and more cars out here, which is a little interesting. And if this person is impaired, this could create some issues. And also, you see those blinkers going on, like the car that they're just passing right there. They see the reds and blues, and they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to get over to the right side. And
do y'all want me to see if I could find a live stream with better quality, or is this good?
But we're continuing northbound. Going to be, you know, right now it's going to be Newhall is the officers for the officers from California Highway Patrol. Is going to be the Newhall division, but they're going to stay. Copter's going to stay above it. Well, you know, the size of the car right now, obviously everything is coming into play, and there's so much coming into play. What's the original want, where they can do this, what devices, what intervention can they do to bring this thing to a stop. The spike strips, he's moving pretty fast, and that's not the problem. The problem is how are you going to get ahead of them? Yes, they have radios. Yes, they can do something, but we've seen
Let me try something really quick.
That's going to be about 6 lanes, probably, especially out here on the 5. So, in throwing out that spike strip, there's a really good chance that he's going to be able to avoid that. Also, you don't want to have those spike strips hitting other civilian vehicles or officers. So, maybe not. The pit maneuver, not at these speeds, not a chance. But if he gets off on the side streets,
See if there's any with better quality. If not, I'll just leave it.
We just watch what's going on out there. Those officers, they're working, and right now we're keeping an eye on this, and we're kind of letting people, hey, look, this chase is going on, northbound 5 freeway, really high speeds. If you got a loved one out there in the area, and if this gets off the freeway, and there's someone in the area where you get off, you might want to give them a heads up, especially if you have a loved one.
Is your car smart enough for California? It is if it's a Ford Fusion, with the tech to get you out of a jam or into a tight spot. Plus, making it easier to connect with your music will bring out the rock star in everyone. Or not. Ford Fusion. That's California smart. Now buy a Fusion and get $3,500 cash back, or lease one for just $219 a month. Learn more at buyfordnow.com.
We're going to lose our visual point, so we might have to back off.
Freeway heading out of town, and as Colleen mentioned, in a while he should pass Magic.
Yeah, NBC's worse.
No, is that? I'm sorry, Gordon. He's in
We'll stick with
SUV.
CBS.
We do not know if he's armed or if he has a SUV.
We'll just stay here.
No, I was just going to say, we're actually discussing it. My pilot tonight, Tim, he's giving me the same information that we all already know. If he starts getting up into the grade, we're going to have to stop. But you see what's going on right now. This guy is passing in the emergency lane on the shoulder at these high speeds, and then kind of wonder what's going on inside that truck. If there's two people, there's got to be some kind of conversation where the guy in the passenger seat is saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't be doing this, or, really, where are we going with it? But right now, California Highway Patrol, they're going to stay with it. The 126, I know you're talking about, they have California Highway Patrol out there. Reinforcements, they're going to keep the cars chasing it to a minimum. They're just going to use the vehicles that they need to keep this, to keep the public safe, and to stay with this vehicle that they're chasing this evening. So are we going to see like Keystone Cops with like 50 cop cars behind it? No, not a chance. But we're continuing on, still about 100 miles an hour on the 5 freeway. The 126, I'm looking out the window, so it's still up ahead a little bit, but Castaic, it's also coming up, and this vehicle just seems to be staying. All right. No, they're definitely not slowing down. Actually, we're actually speeding up a little bit, trying to do another push to catch up to it. I'm listening in on the other conversations that are going on, and it's actually a California Highway Patrol helicopter, a CHP helicopter over right now. I don't know if they did a swap out earlier on, but I know the Sheriff's Department was over it earlier. They're basically saying the same thing. It's a part of flying that when you don't have any reference points anymore, meaning the pilot looks out the window and it's all dark outside, you don't know where the horizon is, that's when it becomes extremely dangerous to fly. The helicopter, the California Highway Patrol helicopter that's lighting them up, he's also going to turn around. But those ground units, no, they're not gonna. They don't have to worry about that. That vehicle is planted pretty safely on the ground, and they don't have to worry about any ground reference. So they're going to keep with this truck going up this hill. If he keeps pushing it like that, you still see it, we'll be able to stay with it. But for right now, this is almost the area where we're going to start saying we're slowing it down. We're going to keep with it with the camera. The camera's going to be followed for a little bit. But as far as the Sky 2, sadly, this is pretty much where we're going to start slowing it up, and we're going to park here. Well, it's basically a safety issue with the pilots. If you ever walked into a dark room and you're standing and you don't have any reference points and you get a little off, it's pretty much the same thing in the helicopter. In the daytime, you can see the horizon, you can see this, you know what is up and what is right and what is left. But if you're in the darkness, and it's very, very dark up here on the hillsides, there is no reference. And the Sky 9. It gets a little more Sky 2. It gets a little bit more complicated with instruments. Of course we have them, but we're not rated to fly like that. So basically, right now we're just going to keep with it, stay safe. The helicopter from the California Highway Patrol has turned around already. They're just using their lights and keeping an eye on it, but we're going to stay with it with the camera, and if we see it pull over, we'll report that. But other than that, it's basically we're going to be watching it go climb up the hillside down a little bit. You got even the way he's passing the other cars, so maybe that truck is going to run out of steam here in a little bit. Copy. a shot. There you go. We're on the net, I'm sure, still as well, and we're going to keep an eye on it. You know, if we're on the net, and this is just for you guys right now, I won't lose it, I promise. But you can see he is slowing down. And you know, I'm a huge Chevy lover, so. But take a look. That is the darkness, and of course you're going to say, "Oh, you're going to see the freeway." That doesn't help you out. You need to see a horizon out there, and that is what it looks like out towards up towards the Castaic area. That's the reason why we cannot fly that distance right now. But you can clearly make out the chase going up the hillside right there, and it's still moving along. You know, that older Chevy 5.3 liter Altec motor. I'm sure it's gonna go well up that hill. I was thinking maybe it might overheat or something might go wrong, but apparently this thing is just going to keep on going. California Highway Patrol, they're going to stay behind it. That's probably the new one. But frustrating? Of course it is. You know, we wanted to see this thing end as well. We'll keep an eye on it as long as we can. We'll also keep an ear on it. There's a possibility you might turn around and come back down. But I can still see it. We're going to stay here till we can't see it anymore, Tim. Okay. And so anyways, I'm just going to keep watching it. Pretty soon these lights will start fading out, and then it'll just be the radio. But I always love the love on the internet. Sorry we weren't able to get with you guys today. Sorry it sounded a little frustrating earlier on. It's been a long day up here in the helicopter. But you know what? The worst day up here is probably the best day anyplace else. So anyways, we're going to keep on watching it, and it seems like it's going to pass out. Those are hillsides that we can't see it when it goes behind. Simon Dass, just checking in. All right, copy all. Back to base.
Okay, that's that. Let's see if we can find another link.
And that is the end of that. And we'll be heading back to base. And my pilot was...
Come on. Okay. Don't do this now. ABC lost, or they quit covering it too. Let me see if anyone was able to keep following.
Is your SUV smart enough for California?
It can actually turn it on.
It is if it's a Ford. With the ability to respond to your touch. React to what's behind your vehicle. And lend an extra hand. Ford Escape, Edge, and Explorer. That's California smart. Buy an Escape SE and get $4,000 cash back, or lease one for just $219 a month. Learn more at buyfordnow.com.
Yeah, they're leaving it too. Oh, there's one more. A few more things I could try, but
normal to do it, so they're gonna probably want to do it again. You know, usually the parents not around. Where did they get the hold of that gun?
We talked to 2 residents at the home where the party was held, who at first told me off camera there was no party. When shown this video, they then insisted the gun is a fake.
Introducing the QX60 from Infinity.
Is the bullet casing
Lease
from
the
the
Infinity
incident?
QX60
We picked this
for
up
$439
outside of
a
the
month.
house. What we
Visit
do
your
know
local
is this is a
Infinity
blank, and when I asked police whether this somehow changes the investigation, the police wouldn't say.
I'm not interested in that.
In South Los Angeles, Susan Hirosuna, Fox 11 News.
Sky Fox was over the scene in Arcadia where 2 teenagers were injured by fireworks. Police and fire crews rushed to it.
Well, then this might be the end, unless I could find like a Facebook link. I'm trying. Yeah, I don't know if I want to give up my information, but yeah, I guess the stream's over for now. If they come back live, then I'll stream it, but for now this is it. Please subscribe for more live chases and other content I post, and I'll see y'all later.